edition of Body Moves and Breakthroughs. We are working towards 100 days of continuous content. And today, my first time going live to YouTube for quite some time. So I've got you outside here with me, and we're talking about connecting to your core and your creativity to calm your nervous system. Now, you might think those things are not related, but I will be the first to tell you, and maybe not the first to tell you, that as a whole human, our core, our creativity, and connecting to them to calm our nervous system is absolutely where it's at. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to show you three pretty basic moves, but really as I walk through them with you, I hope that we can really talk about how your core is so much more than just the physical center of your body. It really is your believed by many, your chakra that holds a lot of your creativity and really your birthplace for a lot of new ideas, innovations. And creativity isn't something that we force, but it is definitely something that we make space for. So I really find that connecting to your core is really part of helping to make that space. So I'm going to walk you through a few exercises, really simple exercises. And again, I apologize if you can't see all of it perfectly. I will definitely talk you through it. So the first one is just going to be just that, connecting to your core. So I'm just going to have you sit up tall, grab a yoga mat or a blanket, preferably outside if you can. Sit up nice and tall from your sit bones and just tuck your shoulders back and your chin down. And if you haven't connected in with your core for a while, I'm just going to ask you to lean back ever so slightly until you feel your core engage. And here's the thing, it's going to engage naturally. That's what it's here to do. Take a nice deep breath in, lean back, keeping up nice and tall, chin tucked in, and connect in with your core. And then exhale as you come back up. I'm just going to do that a few times. And really the practice is just that, connecting in with your core. Now, start to add in your breath movement, taking a nice deep breath in, which really is going to bring some stability. And then as you exhale, really, again, just feel into that core. Take a nice deep breath in, let your core engage, and then come back up. We're just going to do that a couple more times. Connecting in, not just with that physical core, but really that strength, that connectivity, that creativity. We'll just do a couple more here. And you know, the interesting thing about that exercise is we spend so much of our time in our heads and working with our hands and moving with our legs and our feet. We forget about what's happening in through our torso, and really that's where our power comes from. So I really want to talk about how movement creates the conditions to build more possibility, potential, and performance in our lives. Now, in this case, we're talking about creating the condition to actually calm your nervous system. So one of the things I'd like to go through with you today is about talking about those places through your core and where some of your strength comes from that aren't always as obvious. So I'm going to do something just called a bridge or a glute lift with you. And again, if you can't see all of it, apologies. I'm going to ask you to come right down on your back. And we're going to tuck your heels fairly close to your glutes, about hip bone width apart. I'm going to ask you to really pull your shoulder blades back onto your blanket or your mat. Your arms are straight down by your sides, palms facing down. And take a moment and really open up through your breastbone, through your rib cage, and really pull your shoulders back. If you haven't done that for a while and like opened up through your front body and really snugged your shoulders back, squeezing in towards your spine, even that is such a great reminder. I'm going to ask you to take a nice deep breath in, tuck in through your glutes, push up through your heels, and come into a bridge. Now you want to be careful not to put any extra pressure onto your neck, the top of your spine. Take it through your shoulder blades. So pull it down into your shoulder blades. So you're now holding up between your heels, your hip bones, and your shoulder blades, and just really thinking about that line. Here's the last couple of things I'll have you do. So you're going to come down and relax here. I'm going to ask you to bend your arms at 90-degree angles. So your palms are now facing each other. You're not going to come all the way down to the blanket and rest. You're just going to hold yourself up just slightly, keep slightly engaged. So now you're going to pull your shoulders back. Press your triceps, the tops of the back of your arms, in towards your blanket. Again, take a nice deep breath, press up through your heels. So really being aware of your back body. So again, we're thinking about our heels, our hip bones, our glutes, our spine, our shoulder blades, and staying as open as possible through our breastbone, through our chest, through the front of our shoulders, and even pressing our triceps back against your blanket. Take a nice deep breath in and come up again. Now here is what I want to teach through this exercise. We are so focused in what we can see and what's in front of us that sometimes we don't pay enough attention to noticing how we feel, what's behind us, what's around us, what's supporting us, and we almost take those pieces for granted. So I'm really going to have you think about, over the next few repetitions of this exercise, what are the places in through your everyday experience, in through your creativity, in through your connection points and your touch points of your day, where you just want to invite in a little bit more noticing and really maybe just keeping an eye on what's sitting at the periphery. All right. So the last couple of things I really want to say today are about just invitations about how to connect in with a little more creativity, a little more calm, by really connecting in with your body. And the last thing I'm just going to ask you to think about is really to imagine your rib cage as an accordion. So every time you take a deep breath in, you want to really think about expanding up through your ribs, separating your rib cage like you could almost tuck your fingertips in between your ribs. And then as you exhale, not just slouching down, but compressing through your ribs and your core just a little bit to provide some stability and strength. So the last thing I'm going to show you is just a little exercise. It's called just a little accordion exercise. So we're going to come back down on your back just one last time. Take your lower back and just make sure it's nice and comfortable, tucked into your blanket or your mat. You're going to bring your arms up overhead just a little bit. Your legs are at 90 degrees, and your arms and your legs are just, they're just soft, they're relaxed. You're not tensed at this moment, but you are really thinking about your accordion. So you're going to tuck your lower back down, take a nice deep breath, and as you are ready and able, you're going to actually just really squeeze in through that accordion. Now, you can lift your neck and head up if you wish, if it's comfortable, but you shouldn't initiate with them. They will come up as a result of your core squeezing in, your accordion squeezing in. The last thing to come up is your neck, your head, and your elbows. So your power is coming from your core. Your lower back is down. Take a nice deep breath in and squeeze that accordion together. Now again, I'm teaching you this exercise or reminding you about this exercise because honestly, there are some people, and you know who you are, that you never think about your ribs, your rib cage, your core, your tailbone, your your chakras in through your trunk, and all of those are such important energy and stability sources. We're just going to do a couple more. Nice deep breath in, lower back down. Exhale, squeeze up through your core. Now, you don't have to lift your neck or head. You're going to get just as much of activation just squeezing in through your core. You don't need to bring up your neck if that's not comfortable. So the last thing that I'll say is just a reminder that if you're looking to connect in with more creativity, to bring more calmness into your day, to just to sink into and embody a little bit more of a rhythm, start to think about how you can connect a little bit more with your core. I'm Charlene Sinjenko, and thanks so much for joining us today. Take care. Have a great day.